All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we've got some games from the East, or a game from the East we're going to be going over. It is a championship game, or a game, how do I say this, for all the marbles here. This is the finals match of a tournament that happened over the weekend. Okay, this is going to be green Bonney versus red blue ace. All right, so let's go ahead and hop straight into this, guys. I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant links and stuff like that in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Today's video is brought to you by Nin Garden, and pre-orders are now open for 4 new playmats, including Berserk, Absolute Ruler, Chaos Crew, and Green Fury. They also carry apparel like the Kings of Heart tee and matching pin. Plus, for this month only, take part in their Halloween Mystery Playmat sale, which comes with 10 free card sleeves with your order. And don't forget to use the code TheVV at the checkout to get 8% off on your next order. Alright guys, here we go. So it looks like we have green Bonney versus red blue ace in the finals. And it looks like the red blue ace player is going to go first. And let's go ahead and look at their hands real quick. Over on the left here, Jory Bonney, they're going to be going second. And they have, it looks like 2 of the 5 cost carrot. 1 of the 4 costs, I think that's the new Zorro. I could be wrong, but I believe that's an alt art for the new Zorro that came out, and I think it was an EB02. And then they have the 1 cost searcher, Jory Bonney, and 2 cost Kashiro. Okay, and now in the red blue ace hand, I can only see 4 of the cards. It looks like a 4 cost Marco, an 8 cost event, the 5 cost Yamato, and it looks like a searcher Izo. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what happens here. Now, real quick, the volume is off, and we do have the speed on 2x, okay, guys? Now, they're going to play out the Izo to start this off, and it looks like they had another Izo in their hand. Okay, so we see a 10 cost Newgate, a 5 cost Yamato, and then a few other cards here I can't quite make out. Okay, they grabbed the 10 cost blocker OP13 Edward Newgate. That will be good for later. Okay, and now we're going to be on turn 1 for the Jory Bonney. And let's see what they choose to do here. Do they want to actually establish a 1 cost Bonney and go from there? And maybe, actually, excuse me, they had the, they must have drawn the Kid and Killer for the turn. They get the, okay, what's going on here? It looks like they're having to read Kid and Killer. Okay, so they're reading Kid and Killer here. They're probably trying to see how the win attacking effect works. Otherwise, it's an on-play top 5 search for a Supernova character. Okay, they grab Cavendish, the 5 cost Cavendish, and then let's see what happens next. Just going to pass the turn, of course. There's nothing more to do there. Okay, very good. Now, the ace, we're going back to the ace player. This is their turn 2. They're up to 3 Dawn. They're going to swing for 7. Bonney's going to take it. And then they're going to play out the second Izo, fixing their hand a little bit. Okay, that was 2 blocker Marcos in there. The 4 cost 6K Marco. And another 10 cost 12K Edward Newgate. And they're going to favor getting the Newgate here, which I do think that is the right call against Bonney, is just go as tall as you possibly can. Just go as tall as you possibly can. They have another search here, another Izo. They're going to find a Jozu this time, and then they're going to pass the turn back. Still on 3 life, of course, because this is now turn 2 for the Bonney. This will be their first turn to attack. Okay, there's the hand of the Bonney player. Yes, so that is the 2K counter Zorro. Okay, that's the 2K counter Zorro in their hand right here next to the 2 carrots on the far left. The 1 cost searcher Bonney. There are 3 Kashiros in hand. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And a Cavendish. Okay, so I think, now this is a 4 Dawn turn, and I think it would be wise to attack in at least once this turn here, maybe attack in for 6 with the leader. Yep, very nice. And then they can play out a 2 cost card here, maybe even play out the Bonney and do a search here, or play out a Kashiro and keep a Dawn active. Okay, okay, look at that. They were thinking about playing out the Bonney there, and I do like that play. I actually like that quite a bit. Give him something to attack into. Who cares, right? Who cares? Because watch this. Pause. Yes. Yeah. So I love playing out the Bonney here. Here's why. So they play out the Bonney, and I actually think using the effect here to activate the main to do a top 5 search is really good, because even if they decide to attack in a low, I was going to say small, but low is probably more accurate. If they try to attack in low into this Jory Bonney with one of the Izos, Well, now the Bonney player can rest down the leader attack for the turn. So I do like this quite a bit. Okay, gonna pay 1, gonna activate it. Top 5 search for a Supernova character, or a Supernova card, rather. And they grab a 10 cost Law and Beppo. Very nice. Very interesting list here by Bonney. I actually like that card quite a bit. I don't think I like it better than the 10 cost Doflamingo in Bonney, but Law and Beppo can lock down blockers and things like that potentially. Okay, so they do attack in, and everything happened the exact way we said there, guys. They attacked in with, hang on, let me see something real quick here. They actually attacked into the Bonney with the leader. Okay, so that worked out fine. They get to rest down the Ezo, and there we go. Now the ace is gonna follow up with a Yamato, getting to draw 2 and attach a Dawn to the leader. Excellent effect there, done in good sequencing, so he did not lose the so that way the character did not get rested down. Okay, drawing into a 9 cost Shanks is very nice for this Bonney player. That's going to come in very handy later in the game, I'm sure of it. Okay, now I do not pre-watch these games, guys. Typically speaking, I do not pre-watch these games, but we saw 2 10 cost 12,000 power Edward Newgates in the hand of Red Blue Ace, okay, or in the searches. So now we know that 9 cost Shanks is going to be massive against those. Okay, so they're going to play out the Cavendish, restanding 2 Dawn, and then playing out the Kashiro with the 2 Dawn. 1 Dawn is active from the leader here, and it looks like they attacked into the 1 cost Ezo is all that happened that turn, because they needed to fully develop this turn, and because of that, I believe they were able to... Sorry, guys, we do have to go back real quick. I have to make sure everything happened the way I thought it did there. So they attack 5 into the Ezo here. And now the Red-Blue Ace player, they're just going to use the when attacking effect, or on your opponent's turn effect, or once per turn, whatever effect it is, where they get to sacrifice the Ezo to draw a card from the top of the deck and put a card on the bottom of the deck from their hand. And then they play out the Cavendish, playing out the Kashiro. Really good stuff so far. Very well done by both players. Really good sequencing stuff here. I haven't seen any problems so far. Okay, so here we go. The later this game goes on, I actually think the better it favors the green Bonney player. Okay, going to rest down the Yamato. Yep, swing for 7. They take that. I think they might have, maybe should have used the Kashiro there to block out of that 7k attack. Because remember, guys, we know how many cards, pause, look how many cards are in the hand of this Bonney player. 1 well-timed pudding here, and this game could be wraps, right? It could really mess this game up bad. So I think cashing in on that Kashiro here and going from there what may have been the better choice, because we have 2 more Kashiros in our hand. Okay. Especially since we kind of knew, I feel like we might have known that they were going to play out the Jozu, right? Because we saw them draw Jozu from one of the searches. They play it out, bounce back one of their Ezos for further value later in the game, and then they bounce. Of course, they were going to bounce back the Cavendish. Okay, we have a 6,000 power attack into the Yamato. I would save this, personally. Yep, and it looks like they choose to do the same thing, countering out to save that. Okay, and then they're going to pay 6 for the Trafalgar Law, pulling back the Searcher Kid and Killer. And now let's see what they choose to play out for the turn. We know they have the Cavendish. That will put them up to 3 Dawn for the turn. They play out the Cavendish. It will be rested, and then they use 2 Dawn to play out another Kashiro. Okay, very nice. So that makes sense now why they saved it. That was their follow-up play with that 6-cost Law for the next turn to just be able to protect this Cavendish very nicely. Okay, 9 Dawn turn for Red Blue Ace here. They're going to play out a 10-cost Edward Newgate. They get to do a draw 2 trash 1. They did not choose to take a life card with the effect of the event, so they're not an 8,000 power leader. Well, they're about to be an 8,000 power attacking leader, but they will not be an 8,000 power leader for the opponent's turn. Which I think I think taking a life there might have been a little bit better. At least in my personal opinion. Get your hand size higher. You'll be an 8,000 power leader. They can't attack into your leader next turn anyway, and you can go from there. Okay, I mean, technically they could attack in, but they'd have to commit a lot to attack into an 8,000 power base power leader. Okay, and we're about to be on a 10 Dawn turn with Bonney. So that Law and Beppo might get very nice very quickly here. Okay, so they go ahead and rest down the leader after the Jozu attack, okay, with the leader effect of Bonney. And now there are 3 characters, and there's 2 characters and a leader that's rested down. I think this might just be a 10-cost Beppo play here, maybe. And then they get to swing in, rest down your 10-cost 12k and lock it down. It's not restanding. And now this is a 7,000 power leader. And here we go, attacking for 6 first into probably the Yamato on the board. I could be wrong about that. Okay. and they stand 2 Dawn as active, and now the red-blue ace player is going to cash in on the Ezo, the on opponent's turn when attacking. I can't remember how it's worded, but they get to do that on attack, and now they fix their hand a little bit. They get out of these attacks here. Okay, we still have 7k left on the leader. Maybe swing for 8 and leave 1 Dawn active. I think that'd be the right play here. I think attaching 1 Dawn to Bonney, who's a 7,000 power leader right now, attaching 1 Dawn and swing for 8 into the Yamato, I think that's a good call in this situation. I think it's a really good call here. Okay, let's see what they choose to do. Remember, guys, we are in 2x speed. We are in 2x speed. Yeah, 8,000 into what? 8,000 into who? Okay, I'm not exactly sure. I think it looks like it's going to be the Yamato. And if he lets this go, he will... Okay, he's not going to let it go, I guess. Again, unless it's going into the leader, I'm not sure. Okay, so they get out of that. And now remember, the Edward Newgate is not active for this turn. Yep, and they know that. Sometimes it's just habit. You know, you just untap all your characters. Not a big deal. Nothing too shady going on here. Okay, 10 Dawn turn. I think we follow up with the 10 cost Edward Newgate. Or did he get rid of that? No, he did not. Okay, that scared me because I looked down in his hand and I couldn't see it because it was actually in his it was in his actual hand, not on the you know, where the hand normally goes. He had just picked it up. Okay, so here we go. They play that out, draw 2, trash 1, getting rid of a Atmos. Yeah, Atmos will probably not be very good in this game here. Okay, they get 2 Dawn on their Jozu and 2 Dawn on their leader. They're going to swing in for, okay, yeah, they swing in for 9 with the Jozu, and then the leader gets rested down with the effect of Jory Bonney, and now let's see what happens here. Are they going to choose to take this or block? There's only 1 more attack left for the turn. I would strongly consider blocking out of this. They decide to take it. Man, the Bonney player is just hoping with all of their might that there's no 4-cost pudding in the opponent's hand. They're just hoping that, yep, as long as they don't draw a pudding, we're good here. But hey, guess what? High risk, high reward. That's the situation we're in right now because there is no pudding. There is no pudding in the red-blue ace player's hand. Okay, speaking of hands, let's go ahead and check this out real quick. Now, red-blue ace does have a 10-cost Roger, what is that, the 6-cost 2K counter Uda that can be played out for 2 cost if you have a 10,000 power character or higher, a 1-cost red Searcher Ezo, and then a 4-cost King Do. This is 2K counter. Okay, now over on the Bonney's hand here, they are stacked. They have some Tashigis on the board, or excuse me, in their hand. They have some Carrots. Carrots probably not the best for this matchup, but it can lock down cards such as Jozu, right? Okay, here we go. When we attack in with the Cavendish, I would swing for 7 into this Jozu here. I would actually load up 1 Dawn on my leader, or excuse me, on the Cavendish, excuse me. Swing for 7 into the Jozu, and then stand up 2 Dawn. Again, that's with Cavendish. It looks like that's what they're going to do here. Okay, standing up 2 Dawn. Where is this attack going? He has King Do in hand. He's just going to block this. So no matter where it went, that was going to get stopped. And now we have 2 more Dawn here. Okay, wow. Yeah, I'll say now we can actually smash into this Jozu. I would have probably swung for, oh no, excuse me, it's an 11k character, so swinging 11 into 7, that's going to cost leader effect 2k, 1k to get out of this. And again, guys, I think everything is going into the board. Everything, I think, is going into the board. Okay, what are we going to do with this final Dawn, by the way? Are we going to, so guys, understand, let me pause for a second, understand how this will work here. After this attack gets countered, or if it gets through, or whatever, there's still going to be 1 Dawn left for the turn to work with for the Bonney. It's like, yes, they have 2 Dawn, but remember, the leader effect requires 1 Dawn, and we don't have any other ways on the board to stand Dawn. We don't have the Kid and Killer on the board to do something on your opponent's attack. So we have 1 more Dawn. It's probably just going to go either on the leader to swing for 6 into the red-blue ace, or 1 Dawn on the 6-cost Law to swing for 7 more into Jozu. I'm going to be honest, guys. I would let this Jozu go right here. I don't think we've used the leader effect yet on red-blue ace. I would actually just let my Jozu go and draw a card from that, as opposed to losing 3 cards in hand just to try and save the card. Okay, here we go. Yeah, because, I mean, we do have 2 2K counters in hand. It looks like they're actually strongly considering. See, this is another reason, by the way, guys, where I was saying earlier when we used the first event, I think we should have taken a card from life, because Bonney's not really going to try to rush down red-blue ace. At least I don't think they would. I guess it depends on the situation and the hand. There are different kind of conditions to look out for, but I don't actually think, okay, they do let it go. Okay, leader effect. Okay, maybe the leader effect was used earlier, guys. I must have missed that. My apologies. I must have missed earlier when the leader effect was used. Okay, whatever the case, being able to take your own life cards with that 8-cost event is actually so nice in matchups like this, where it's going to go a very long game, where it's kind of a, you know, pause, hang on. So it's going to be swing 6 now and swing 6 into the leader. They're going to be able to counter out of both of these if they want to, or they could take a hit. But whatever the case, in these long, drawn-out games where there's like a starve plan, it's called, you know, how do I say this? It's called starving your opponent. And the idea is, whenever you take a hit in this game, in the game of One Piece, you draw a card from your life. Unless you have no cards left in your life, then you lose the game, right? If you take a damage. Well, when you start taking life, you're drawing cards from your life. You're going up in hand size. Okay, so that's what I was saying. It's kind of, with these Starvo strategies, they don't attack into life. They just only attack into the board, so you're never getting that catch-up mechanic going for you. You're not drawing cards. So in this situation here, the 8-cost event is actually really good to play out aggressively, taking your own life card to draw more cards and stay on the board. Okay, here we go. So 6K into the leader. Let's see where this goes. Or let's see if they choose to take this. I probably would just take this, guys. And again, I can't remember where they actually used their leader effect for the turn to draw an extra card. Maybe I missed something. I'll try to remember at the end of this video, at the end of this game, to go back and... wow, yeah, so they used the 8-cost event there to get out of that. They draw into a second 8-cost event. I think it's actually their third one of the game. That's unfortunate, but with this leader, it is a 2K counter as well, right? They can use their leader effect to turn into a 2K counter. Okay, gonna go for 12 at face. So it's very, very obvious what's going on here. They are trying to swing through to get the opponent down to 0 life, and then they're going to follow up with the 10-cost Roger and try to go for lethal. Okay, yeah, I think we need to just load everything up here. No, everything has to go on here. And they probably can actually change gears now to actually go for the Cavendish in this situation here. Yeah, because the Bonney did block out, and they rest down the Yamato. Okay, what are we saving Dawn for? That's my question. So swing for 6 plus 7 is 13. This guy actually has enough cards in hand to get out of this pretty comfortably and playing around pudding at the same time. I think he probably should get out of this. Look at that, guys. There's 10K counter on the right side of his hand. He still has another 4K counter, I think, on the left side that I saw. So this guy has plenty. Maybe this is the right time to cash in on your cards. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Takes him up to 14 to get out of the 13. Seems good. Okay, they follow up with an Uda. Again, I think he should have swung for 16. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I think the Red Blue Ace should have gone all in here and just hopefully get out of... I mean, he saved 3 life cards up to this point. I would have just swung for 15. Or excuse me, 15. Yeah, I actually probably would have swung for 15 instead of 16 and threatened 1 Dawn active for a Rad Beam. Because it's very obvious what the Red Blue Ace player is trying to do here. They're trying to make it where they can swing for lethal next turn with Roger. Okay, well, here we go. The Bonney is now in a commanding position. They have been in a very good position for most of the game, I would say, but they are now in a commanding position. They have a Kashiro in hand. They have 1 life. They have a Trafalgar Law blocker on the board. They have their leader effect. There is no way, really, in this situation for the Red-Blue Ace player to sneak lethal, unless the Bonney just lets it happen, right? Unless we're in the rare situation where the Bonney just throws the game. Okay, here we go. Red Blue Ace, this is a 6K attack. These are just going to be little bitty pokes from here on out for the rest of the game. Okay, other than what happens with, you know, the 2 11,000 power attackers on the board. Okay, they take the hit. They draw a card from the leader effect, an additional card because they took a damage. Okay, they got a Garp and a Jozu from that. Okay, a Garp and a Jozu. One was from life, the other was from the top of their deck. Still 9 Dawn available. If there's a 9 Dawn follow-up here, guys, this is going to be ugly. Okay, that's not bad either. We get the carrot on the board. Looks like we're going to swing for 6 now with the Cavendish standing to his active. 6 Dawn now still available for the turn. Let's see what happens here. Or excuse me, is that 7? No, it's 6 Dawn still available. Okay, and this is probably going into the Yamato. Maybe it's going into life. I'm not exactly sure, actually. Oh, excuse me. There's no reason for it to go into the Yamato. That card's locked down with the carrot. Yeah, absolutely no reason to attack into Yamato here because it's locked down with carrot. He has to get out of this, guys. I think he actually has to get out of this because there's still an 11K. There's 2 more 11K attacks coming in. Yeah, so 1K counter out. That's the right call there. Okay, keeping Jozu in hand is interesting. I might have kept the Garp Searcher in my hand. Okay, are we going to go for three 11s? We might be going for 3 11s. Personally, I think that'd be a little bit greedy. 6K. Okay, and then he's probably going to replace it with a 2-cost Kashiro. I think that's the play here. Yeah, I think the play here is actually to replace that card with the 2-cost Kashiro. Okay, let's see what happens here. They take the hit. Whoa. Okay, swing for 12. That's going to be, 12 into Newgate. Pause. Okay, so 12 into Newgate is interesting. I think I would actually just be going for the leader at this point, right? Because there is a blocker on the board. There is a blocker on the board. So we could just go 11 into leader and then 11 into leader. Not even 12. Not even 12. Just go, I guess we could though. Go 12 into leader, 12 into leader, and then they probably have to give us a blocker. Seems fine with me. Seems completely fine with me, guys. Because then on our follow-up, you know, when they try to play out Roger, we can just deal with it from there. Okay, but I do like the idea of not attacking him down to 0 life, because then the Roger can just start attacking through, right? Okay, but remember, guys, with the way that Bonney works, he has to play out the Roger first if he wants to stop the blocks, which means he'll tap down the Roger. You know, that's the crazy part. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We got 2 Dawn active for Bonney. Looks like we had 1 extra Dawn to attack with for the turn, but that probably doesn't matter too much. Maybe we're threatening that, like, oh yeah, we have an extra defensive event, like a 1-cost 3K or something. Maybe like Dead Man's Game. You never know. You just simply never know. Unless you do know. Unless you have the deck list available to look at. Okay, here goes the third 10-cost 12K Edward Newgate. Now, this is where Taxbeard would actually be incredible, right? If they were able to play out the 10-cost... Oh, okay, so they're not going to even... they're going full blocker mode. Pause. Let me finish my thought here. This is where Edward Newgate, the 10-cost 12K, they call him Taxbeard. The one that says, you know, on play, if your leader's Whitebeard Pirates, and if you have 2 or less life, your opponent has to trash 2 cards from their hand every time they attack with one of these characters on the board, okay? So that would just be devastating. They can only attack 2 extra times, right? They'd have all these, they would have 2 blockers and a life, and then we're establishing bigger and bigger characters on the board. Now, I think it was very wise for the red-blue ace player to just take 1 turn to try to block her up. Because notice this, guys, if he attacked... If the red-blue ace player tried to attack here, let's just say they try to attack with their biggest character, they would just get their leader tapped down, or even worse, the blocker. They could get the blocker tapped down, and then the green Bonney player could go for lethal next turn. So this is a very dangerous position for red-blue ace to be in. That's why they did not attack this turn. Okay, so here we go. Bonney has a lot of searcher power in hand there. It looks like 3 searchers. I think that's 3 searchers, guys, in the hands in Bonney's hands. Okay, and we have, let me pause it. We are in overtime. Let me go and move my camera over. Notice this, guys. 0 seconds left on the clock. They have some type of overtime procedure. It's a little bit different in the East on these big tournaments, and it has to do with which player went first or something like that. Whatever the case, we are now in overtime. Okay, so we only have, I think, a maximum of 4 turns left, but I don't think it's gonna get to that point. And when I say 4 turns, excuse me, I mean the current player, then the other player, back to the original player, and then to the last player. But again, it might be a little bit different depending on who went first. I think it's a little bit different in the East. Okay, here we go. So they're explaining that. They have to do that. That's just protocol. They're explaining, like, hey, guys, this is the situation, and here we go. And it's in the Bonney player's hands now. I think this is probably, it might be game on this turn, guys. It might just be game over right here. I think the Bonney player needs 1 more turn, though. I do think the Bonney player needs 1 more turn. So let's see what happens. Now, there are only 4 cards in the Ace's hand, okay? However, when he takes his first life, he will draw the card from life and a card from his deck with his leader's effect. So here we go. So attacking for 6 into the leader and locking down the Yamato, and now that's going to get met with a 1K counter Yamato. Okay, here we go. Still have 10 Dawn left to work with for the turn. Still have 10 Dawn to work with for the turn. I think they're considering playing out a Searcher right here, which I think is the right call. And then they, pay 2. They're thinking about paying 1 and then paying an additional 1 to do the search, or paying 2 for Kid and Killer. Okay, they actually find so there were 2 Bonnies in there, a Carrot and a Cavendish, and whatever they have in their hand, they took back whatever it was. Just waiting for our, for the Bonney player to choose. Oh, wow. Okay, they have the 5-cost Bonney in hand. Okay, well, they have the 5-cost Secret Bonney and the 5-cost Bonney that can lock down a Dawn. Guys, that card can lock down a Dawn. Very interesting stuff here, guys. Or a character. It can lock down a character or a rested Dawn. Very interesting. Okay, that might be checkmate. Oh my goodness, guys. Now they can't play out the 10-cost Roger. If they decide to follow up with that 5-cost character that they just pulled, right? They're going to be able to lock down a Dawn, and they can't even play the 10-cost Roger to go for lethal. Absolutely devastating. Absolutely devastating. Okay, now they were able to attack it with the Cavendish. That was met with a 1K counter. They're going to take this life from the 11K attack from the I can't remember his name, Lawn Beppo. And now here we go. Going to pay 5, locking down a Dawn. Yep, move that to the side. Beautiful. And now play out the blocker Law. Guys, there are 2 blockers, a life, a Dawn, and the Red Blue Ace only has 9 Dawn. Okay, they did get a Gravity, excuse me, not a Gravity Blade. They did get a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger would have actually been insane right here. But no, they got a Red Rock. They got a Red Rock, and that's only going to be able to deal with one of the blockers here. Okay, well, guess what? There's 1 Dawn active for the Bonney player. So they can rest down one of these 10-cost 12Ks for free. And because a Dawn was locked down, there will not be any Roger. There will not be a Roger this turn. Okay, they go ahead and bottom deck the 4-cost Zoro with the Red Rock. And here we go. I think they just have to swing for 12. They have to just simply swing for 12 with the Edward Newgate or try to go for next turn. Okay, swing 6, rest down one of the Newgates. Okay, that's going to be met with a 2K. It might be a 1K, 1K, excuse me. It's going to be a 1K, 1K. And now they can swing for 7 and then 12. Guys, there's a blocker on the board, though. It doesn't matter. Okay, and that's going to be game. Okay, it gets pushed back to the Bonney player, and they're going to go ahead and attack in winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Let's go. That was incredible, guys. That was absolutely incredible play by the Bonney player. What an awesome turn out there. So just to go back real quick, guys, I want to see something. There was a turn where the red-blue ace player did not, I feel like they did not draw a card from a specific position here. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick, guys. Y'all bear with me. I think it was this upcoming turn here. They play out the Beppo. They swing for 6. Okay, I just want to see if they block this. Okay, they use the Izzo's effect first. And then they decide to counter out. Okay, and then 6 more. Gets countered out. Okay, and then they're going to swing with their leader for 8K, I believe it was. Or maybe it was going to be 7K. Just going to fast forward a little bit, guys, because I want to see something. I think this is 8 into the leader. Now, watch this, guys. Okay, he's asking, okay, so the Edward Newgate's locked down from the 10-cost Beppo, the Lawn Beppo. Okay, counters out of that and passes back. So it was not this turn. We're going to go to the next one, guys. I'm going to fast forward just a little bit to see what happens here. We're going to go back to the Bonney player's turn. I want to see something because I feel like there was a time here where they did not draw a card from the leader's effect. Okay, again, I'm just going to fast forward. So they KO the Edward Newgate with the Shanks. Well, hang on, that right there, right? Shouldn't that have been able to? I'll have to read it later. So right here, they play out the Shanks to KO it. Oh, and they did draw. Excuse me. That was just, they did it very quickly. They were able to draw from that. Okay, so that was really well done. Now, the one other thing I wanted to break down here, there was a time on this turn right here, I believe it was, coming up for Red-Blue Ace, where I think they should have gone a bit more aggressive. Okay, now let me explain. So right here, they get into their, okay, this is just a 5-Dawn turn. Let's go to the next turn. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. There's one turn off there. And here we go. So this would have been a 9-Dawn turn for the Red-Blue Ace player. Now watch this. They attach a Dawn to their leader. Wait, no, is this the 7-Dawn turn? Sorry, guys, this is the 7-Dawn turn. I was two turns off. And by the way, not having the pudding was devastating, okay? Not having pudding was absolutely devastating. This was the turn. So this is the 9-Dawn turn for the Red-Blue Ace player. Now watch this. They go ahead and tap 8. They're going to play out the event. I am Whitebeard. That's, oops, whoop, hang on. Yeah, play out the Edward Newgate first. They almost messed up a little bit there. And they chose to not take a life card. I actually feel like that was a bit of a mistake. And even not attacking first, they probably should have just attacked first to start this turn off. Just swing in for 7, and then attack, and then they'll probably tap down the Yamato. That's fine, and then they can swing in with their leader. Or if they tap down the Yamato with their leader effect, then they could play out the Edward Newgate and get the 2-Dawn where they want it. They could move things around from there. Is my point. But hear me out. And then I think they should have taken a life card, because watch this. They decide to not take a life card, and now their leader's only 6,000 power, and they don't get to draw more cards to hand. And when you're at 2 life as Red Blue Ace, you are very, very safe. So here we go. So they're going to choose to swing for 9k first, I believe, with the, watch this, guys. So they're going to swing for 9k first with the Jozu, and then the Bonney player ends up tapping down the leader, okay? And that's going to set up all of next turn, where it goes 10 cost Law and Beppo into the next turn 9 cost Shanks to just absolutely demolish this board, and the whole time the Bonney player has a Cavendish established on the board. Either way, great game to both players. Let's get the final screen on here where the green Bonney player was able to win the entire thing. That was just awesome. GG to both players. Like I said, that was great. Okay, that's it, guys. Let me get the outro screen on here. I appreciate everybody who made it this far into the video. Thank you for all the support, guys. This community is absolutely incredible. And guys, if you are just liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting and viewing my stuff, you're helping me out big time. Or if you're using my TCG Player affiliate link, if you're donating through Patreon or PayPal, if you're a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, or part of the Discord community, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, tell me what y'all thought about that game down in the comment section below. That was a pretty cool game. Getting to see Bonney win over in the East, I feel like we don't get to see that very often. I feel like Bonney's not played all that much over in the East compared to how it is in the West. So tell me what you guys thought about that in the comment section below. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Till next time, peace.